So Dr. Connealy, talk to us about cancer detection, about different diagnostics for finding out if you have cancer.
Yes, today more than ever, people are scared and fearful of cancer, and they want to know because their sister, their brother, their uncle, some family member has had cancer, or what I find is multiple people they have encountered in the last year or so or more have had cancer, and they're afraid of getting it. And I say, well, first of all, you just don't get cancer. Second of all, it's not contagious. But we have unbelievable ways to discover if cancer is occurring in your body. So first and foremost, a doctor, just like myself, can order some blood tests. One is the CRP, the C-reactive protein. So when I have a patient that has high C-reactive protein, I say, okay, let's take some fish oils and let's see if we can get it down. But you got to change your diet because that's also lots of unfavorable diets cause inflammation.
Okay, so that's CRP measures inflammation.
Inflammation.
Okay.
So then I'll tell them and I'll go, okay, in 2 months, I'm going to give you 2 months, and we will repeat it. And so if it doesn't go down, then I usually go looking for cancer. So I have certain methodologies that I can determine if cancer. And first of all, there's one test called the cancer profile. Now the cancer profile has been around for over 20 years, and it detects if you have cancer or in early stages. It's about 93–95% accurate. And if I want to repeat it 3 months later to see if it's accurate again, then I'll repeat it. If the patient is concerned or if the patient wants to know, then I'll repeat it.
Does the cancer profile test have anything to do with the stem cells you were talking about earlier?
No, we'll talk about that in a second. So the cancer profile will determine 3 kinds of HCG. HCG, a lot of people have heard of. If you've been pregnant, you know about HCG because that's the hormone of pregnancy. Then it also is the hormone of malignancy. So the cancer profile detects 2 different blood markers of HCG and 1 in the urine. It also does an enzyme called PHI. PHI is an enzyme involved in anaerobic. Anaerobic means no oxygen, without oxygen. So if that activity of that enzyme is elevated, you have a cancer environment. It also checks for a liver function test because your liver is your organ of detoxification. It checks a thyroid because low thyroid, the higher the risk of cancer. DHEA sulfate, which is your hormone of stress, immune, and longevity. If you don't have good adrenal gland function, you can't handle the stress of whatever the stress it is. And it also checks CEA, which is a non-specific marker for many cancers. So it's a great investigative tool because cancer, as again, just doesn't happen in your body. From one cancer cell to the tumor is 10 years. So people can prevent cancer, and this is what I tell people. Prevention is priceless because it's very easy to treat early cancers. It's a lot more work to treat stage 4 cancers. Can you treat them? Absolutely. But it's just a lot more work for me and the patient.
Somebody earlier in the series said that an ounce of prevention is not worth a pound of cure. It's worth a ton of cure.
It is. It is. I keep telling you, I can't tell people that enough. Now, so that's one blood test. Now, it doesn't tell me where, but I can usually figure that out too. So the second test I do is something called the Onkel Blood. Now, the Onkel Blood, all malignant cancer cells make a protein called ENOX2 protein. So that determines if you have that and where it is. Okay. Unfortunately, the only downside about that is it probably gets it at a year 6. I want to get it in year 1 or 2 or 3. Now, there is something else you were talking about earlier, the circulating tumor cells or stem cells. You can do that blood test also. That will tell circulating tumor cells are cells circulating from the tumor site, and you can have that even if you have a 1 millimeter size tumor, which is undetectable by ultrasound or MRI, circulating in the blood, and that's what's responsible for 95% of metastasis and 90% of deaths from cancer.
Which metastasis is the spreading.
Yes, spreading.
And that's what causes the death, is the spreading of the cancer.
Exactly.
And you can detect it with this test.
Yes, exactly. Now, there is another bioinformational test called the Bio Mune Survey. You have acupuncture points on your fingers and toes that correspond to every organ in your body. A doctor by the name of Reinhold Voll, V-O-L-L, very famous physician and physicist who determined this. He used to teach the courses hands-on. Then that information was computerized in something called the Bio Meridian machine. There is another machine called Vega machine. And these machines will determine early on if cancer is brewing, simmering, or fermenting, whatever word you want to use, in your body. And you can reverse that and turn it around by the proper nutrition, the proper, I call foundational products, and then there's targeted products that you can use to help rid your body of cancer. And I've been doing it a long time, and you would think, well, why doesn't the world know about this? Health is a secret. But that is changing thanks to people like you and thanks to people like all the people that are around trying to disseminate this information and transform the world.
And thanks to people like you.
Thank you.